Mahershala Ali, you co-star in Moonlight as Juan, who's a drug dealer in Miami, who also comes to be kind of a father figure to a boy named Chiron, whose mother happens to be a drug addict. How did the opportunity come about to play this role?
Oh, wow. Well, long story short, I worked with Adela Romansky, one of the producers, on a film called Kicks, probably like 2014 or so. And I did a couple of scenes in that film. And then flash forward 2015, I had gotten the script for Moonlight and was absolutely blown away by it. And Adela showed Barry Jenkins, the director, a couple of my scenes, because Barry knew me from House of Cards, and initially thought that I was a little bit too straight-laced to play Juan. And Adela showed Barry some footage from Kicks, which wasn't out at that time, and that was kind of served as my audition for Juan, and kind of the rest, I guess, is history. But I was really just blown away by the script, and had heard quite a bit about it. There was definitely some buzz about the project. Just around the offices, I was at my agent's office that day when I first heard about it, and there was just a lot of buzz about the project and people telling me about it. And so there was kind of a lot riding on it even before I, opened it up. And again, I was just really moved by the story, by all the characters.
And Juan is kind of a contradiction, at least in terms of what we normally see. He is a drug dealer. He does have this criminal life, but there's also this unexpected kind of tenderness about him. What was it like playing, that kind of dichotomy in that role?
It was I think playing someone like that is that layered is something that I definitely welcomed. It was he's a man that I feel like I've seen many times, or more times in my life than I have on screen. People who were in some ways involved in some sort of criminal activity, but were also people who I knew to be good people, who had good hearts, but maybe in some ways were a little, in some ways, kind of victims of their own circumstances or lack of opportunities, lack of education, and kind of did what they needed to do to get by. But we were still friends, and so to have an opportunity to play somebody that in many ways reflected people that I knew growing up was something that I really embraced.
The film is structured into 3 acts, with a different actor playing Chiron during different periods of his life, and you spend a lot of time working with the youngest version of Chiron, played by Alex Hibbert. What was it like working with him? First-time actor, I believe.
It was challenging because I needed to keep up with him, in the sense that I've had the good fortune of working for so many years, and I think you kind of take on these, you kind of have these little habits and your little quirks and your go-tos, and he doesn't have that. But he's a really talented actor, and he works from a really honest place, and he's pure, and so in being around him, I had to try to let a lot of that stuff go, and try not to act in a certain way, because he's just so good at just being. And so it was great. It was a really remarkable education to get to work with someone that young and that good.
And you were very much the veteran in a lot of your scenes, because another main co-star, for your character is Janelle Monae as Juan's girlfriend, Teresa. Yeah. She's best known as a musician. This is actually her first on-screen acting role. So what was it like working with her? She comes across as just like Hibbert, comes across completely as a natural on screen.
Janelle was great. She was so humble coming into the process, and I think she wanted help. And I mean, she didn't really need it, but she wanted help and asked, was that good? Because it's a new world. You know, she's really coming from a different world. She's been working professionally for a lot of years, and she did some training many years back. But you know, to be on a set and working on a professional level it's a different experience. And so but yeah, we did it together, and we discovered and found these moments in our scenes together, and it was a team effort, and just absolutely loved working together and working with Barry. Barry was great with her, and she was just great to be around. She made a real strong contribution to our story, and especially you see it in the second chapter as well. Just the connection that she has to Chiron, and what that means to him, and how in so many ways our home became sort of his safe place, and she really embodies that spirit in such a beautiful way.
There's especially a powerful moment for your character when Chiron opens up to Juan about what he's questioning, whether or not he's gay at that very young age, and Juan has again a very tender reaction, something that we might not be expecting, that could go either way certainly for a child like Chiron to take that kind of a risk. What was it like playing out that scene?
I was nervous. It was the scene that, in reading the script that I was worried about, could I do it right? But then I realized it wasn't just me, it was we, and us working off of each other, and working with Barry, and yeah, I think just looking at Alex or excuse me, Chiron, but as played by Alex, and really just being conscious of what the circumstances were, and what the reality for those characters was, and what they were dealing with. There's just so much there to sort of process, that if you just take a moment and try to get out of your head and kind of get out of your own way, and just allow the circumstances to guide you and direct you, that I think we all discovered that there was just so much in that scene, a lot of jewels, a lot of stuff to process, and so I think we could kind of just let the circumstances do the work for us in some way, and I think we were able to do that.
There's another especially powerful moment that I remember, with you and Naomi Harris as Chiron's mother, where he confronts her about her drug use, but she also calls him out on his hypocrisy because he's dealing drugs.
Right.
That's one of the more intense moments of the film. What was that like?
It was tough. That was probably, for me, that may have been the toughest scene to shoot for a few reasons. And when I say tough, I don't mean bad at all. But challenging, because there was a bit of a dance that we had to do with some of the camera work and things of that nature, but also just if Juan is on his back heels that entire scene, so she's the aggressor in that scene, and so it's just a difficult position to be in as an actor, and not feel, and because of the circumstances, but just not feel equipped to respond or defend yourself in some way. And she is such a remarkable actor that I found that I was just really trying to stay afloat in that scene and survive. She was really great, and I really love that scene though. It's there's some really wonderful moments in there. Yeah, and I think that was the night I met Naomi, so that was a heck of a way to kind of introduce ourselves.
Yeah, that's a heck of a first impression.
Yeah. Yes.
The way the film is structured into three acts, Juan is not. There are parts of Chiron's life that Juan is not a part of. So, what do you think when you were first able to see the whole story brought together as a finished film? In the parts that Juan is not a part of, that everything has come together.
I was blown away, absolutely blown away. It's the best thing I've ever had an opportunity to be a part of. It was the best project I've ever read. But look, I have really high expectations of Andre Holland and Naomi Harris coming into this project. I knew they were going to be great, but I was not ready for how great Trevante Rhodes was, and Ashton Sanders, and Jarrell Jerome, and Alex. Alex, I knew though because I had worked with them. So, and I was telling everybody how special this young man was. But I just wasn't ready for how great the other actors were, because I hadn't seen their work before. And as folks get announced and you see things pop up on, say, IMDb or what have you, I just didn't know them from anything. And I knew we were in good hands, great hands actually, but I just didn't know what to expect. And so in seeing the film pieced together, the first time I saw it, Trevante was at the screening and Ashton was there, and the lights came up, and I just couldn't believe what they had pulled off. I was just really proud of them, and really looking forward to what they're going to do moving forward.
Moonlight is such a small, understated film, but now it's gotten an incredible amount of awards attention. You just won a Critics' Choice Award. As we're recording this, it's a few days before the Golden Globes. You're nominated there too. The film is nominated for Best Picture. You're up for the SAG Awards coming up soon too. Did you have an inkling that when you were making this film that it would be embraced in such kind of this big crossover kind of way?
No, I didn't. But that's not to say I didn't know it was good. No, I didn't. I don't think I'm used to seeing films that look like this with these people here, and in this position, and it's incredible. I'm so pleased that people are embracing it in this way, and are recognizing Barry's work and the work of the rest of our cast. But yeah, I really did. I knew it was great. I knew it was great on the page, and everyone knew we were doing something special on the day because we were all there for the right reasons and really supporting each other. But I just didn't. I didn't expect to be at the Golden Globes the following year or what have you. It just didn't really cross my mind in a real way. And so to be here and be having this moment and be sharing it with the Moonlight family has been really remarkable.
And one of the unique things about the SAG Awards that are coming up is you really are sharing it with the Moonlight family because you're nominated not just individually but as a member of the ensemble. Yeah, and also for your role in Hidden Figures too, you're nominated as part of that ensemble as well.
Yeah.
How does it compare being singled out for your own performance versus also being able to share that recognition with your co-stars with that group effort?
Well, it's always an ensemble award though, whenever anyone wins or is nominated, because there's no one-man shows. It's a team effort, and there's some really remarkable and special performances in this film. I think I grew up playing on teams, and you don't do anything by yourself. You lose together, you win together. It doesn't matter if you scored 40 points. If you lost, you lost. And this is us doing this. This is the universal we. And so even when Barry Jenkins won the Gotham Award for Best Screenplay, you would have thought each and every one of us won. We were so excited and so just geeked to be a part of it and to have played some small part in the success of this project. But we're all here sharing this together, And just to be nominated or to be recognized or be in the conversation, it's all of us winning.
And then all of this awards attention that's coming now for Moonlight comes coincidentally a few months after you were nominated for your first Emmy Award for Best Guest Actor in a Drama for House of Cards. And you've been on that show since season 1. This was season 4, your first nomination. What was your reaction to getting that nomination?
I was shocked. I was really shocked by that. So I was doing John Oliver that week. It was like a Friday, and my publicist called me on like a Wednesday, and she called me and she says, "Oh my God, congratulations!" I guess maybe it was a Tuesday. She called me. She said, "Oh my God, congratulations!" And I was thinking, wow, she's really excited about John Oliver. Thank you. And then she kind of kept going on. I was like, why are you so excited? She goes, you got nominated. I was like, for what? She said House of Cards. So, it was a real pleasant surprise. And I'm really appreciative of my time on that show. I think that show and that character has made so much possible for me. This experience even, because it's a chain link thing, from the day you start acting, like all these experiences connect together to sort of inform your experience and tell your story. And so yeah, I'm really appreciative of my time on House of Cards.
Now, having both Moonlight and House of Cards in one year would be an especially good year for most actors, but this was a year where a lot of other stuff also lined up for you too. You Free State of Jones you were in, Luke Cage, Hidden Figures, as I mentioned. Was it just kind of fortunate timing that all of these projects happened to kind of line up in quick succession like this?
Yeah, I think it was honestly a result of me. So I was a series regular for 3 years on House of Cards, and then the last year I was a guest star, and that's because I was leaving the show. And so because I was on my way out, it opened up my schedule. And so then it became about the whole Tetris of making these projects fit together. And at the time, and there was almost, when I was shooting Moonlight, essentially I was doing 4 projects at once, and there was almost a 5th, and we just couldn't make it work. And so it just was a result of my schedule opening and looking at projects that were just too good to turn down. But the key for me was, if I couldn't do I wasn't going to do any other project unless I could do Moonlight. So I honestly would have passed on the other projects if it meant that I wasn't going to be able to do this film. And fortunately, the Marvel people were really gracious and accommodating and awesome, and worked around that schedule, and we were able to just kind of put it together. But look, when you get a call to play a villain on a Marvel series, and it was a season commitment, and what happens to villains every time. So it wasn't like I was going to be on this show for 6 or 7 years, and so I just had an opportunity to go in there and do my best work. And it was a really intense and dense time, but I honestly felt in my bones that I had to say yes to those opportunities, because it just felt like it was something that I don't know. I just felt like I had to do it intuitively, instinctively. I felt like it was the right thing to do, and it's just kind of worked out.
Working in a studio film, independent film, Netflix streaming series, and you've also done cable and network series. Have you felt like there's just been broader opportunities as an actor in general these days than maybe there have been in the past?
I mean, I think it's always been that. What I think what helps is that we're in a time where there's a lot of content. There was a period where, look, Ashton and Trevante and they don't know the reality TV period. The reality TV time, that cut out so many jobs, and there were a lot of actors who were kind of sitting around waiting for work. And in this time, where we're all benefiting from is sort of this television boom where a lot of people are employed, and there's a lot of opportunity out there where people are getting to do scripted series work, and good scripted series work. And so so I think we're benefiting from that. But also I think as you have the good fortune of kind of being more known, I just think your opportunities just open up. And as that has kind of slowly happened for me, I got to do a play this year. Actually, I spent a year of doing independent work, honestly. So it's time for a big studio job. Yes.
Well, I want to congratulate you again on Moonlight and Hidden Figures and House of Cards this past year, and everything you've got going on, and hopefully everything that you will have coming up as more doors open. I'm sure with the recognition that Moonlight has been getting. Thank you so much for talking.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. All right. Bye now.